Hi, this is how you go and start to set your strategy, your trades, right? So we're here. This is the home page for RioQ, as you can see. Okay, this is the home page. You must be in the right exchange over here. Okay, you must be in the right exchange over there. So if you're on Binance, that needs to be on Binance. If you're on OKX, that needs to be on OKX. If you are in HTX, that is what you need to be on, okay? Just make sure that you need to make sure that you're in spot, okay? So make sure that you're in spot, okay? Not futures, okay? We are trading in spot. And make sure that you are USDT is the trading base currency that has been highlighted over there, okay? So once you are on the home page, you're in the right exchange. This is, of course, the market. If you see, these are all the trading pairs that are available over here. Trading pairs. This is the current price, okay, or the last price of the trading pair, and this is the percentage change. So percentage change is all about how the coin is doing, how the trade is doing, or how the pair trading pair is doing. This is the percentage change. You can change it here to see from chronological order, right? The last price, like I said, which is the price within 24 hours or the current price, and it keeps changing. As you can see, it keeps changing. All right. Just these are the trading pairs. Like I said, trading pairs are these. This is what you need to be seeing on your homepage in RoyoQ. So when you see this, that is either network issue or something to do with the exchange and how they're showing the price. So just refresh your RoyoQ or close it down if that's what you see with a lot of your coins, of your trading pairs. But yes, this is the market as I'm scrolling down, right? The market is here, and that's what we're looking at for the trades, okay? These are the menus. Just when you're binding, here you go. When you want to see your revenue, this is where you go. If you're building a team, you'll see your rewards, that the gain activation gain bonus. If you want to see your asset, where fuel fee is, this is where you see. If you want to invite a friend, this is where you go get your link. Okay, if you want to see a user guide in order to do the API binding and all those things in what is what, you can go into this section, and that's the user guide. Okay, if you want to add me as your mentor, you can go here. But there is, when you add the mentor, make sure you know that the mentor gets paid a percentage or commission to your of your what of your fuel fee. Okay, so that's optional. I'm not asking you to, but if you feel like that's I add value to you, that's fine. Otherwise, this is not something to worry about. Okay, so just explore your RoyoQ as much as possible. I am not going to be telling you where everything is on a past one-to-one calls. I am not going to do that, okay? This is your business. You need to take responsibility and you need to take accountability. I am only showing you here how do you set your strategy in advance so that when you go to according to your capital, okay, that's what we're doing. So I need you to go to mine, okay, at the bottom here you go to mine. When you click on mine, this page will come up. Okay, you need to go into my strategy settings. Okay, you click on my strategy settings. I have already created different strategies here of different capital amounts, as you can see, right? I've created these here. You can see I've named my strategy. Okay, I've named it here, as you can see. Okay, And but we need to go now to set a new trade strategy. For you beginners who have just joined, you need to be able to go into this section to set your strategy in advance. Okay, so you need to go to this right here, the add. Okay, you will see it in the top right corner. Okay, when you click on add, this page will come up, right? This is the page you will see. Okay, this will be the page where you've got strategy settings. So you will probably leave it on steady or conservative. There's three options where you have conservative or steady. So you leave it in either one of those. What you also need to do is you go to options and set a strategy. You go to options and options here, okay, and name your strategy. So we're going to say 80, okay, $80 strategy. When we go to $80 strategy, after we've done that, we need to come here, and depending on the exchange you're in, the first buying amount will be determined with that, and depending on your capital. I would say use at least 5% of your total capital. If you have $80, perhaps you need to consider using $5, right? $5. Okay. If you use $5, so you over here, that's the first buy amount. Okay, you must go to class as well. I am not going to be teaching you everything. Like I said, I've showed you the tool that works, and it's your responsibility now to take it further. Okay. I've spent so much time with all of you, at least over 2-3 hours each over the course of the week, 2 weeks, right? So now you need to take your responsibility to know exactly what you're doing. Join the Zoom lessons every day. They are teaching how to set strategies. You must join the Zooms, not one-to-one with me, okay? So you need to go into there and decide, okay, I'm using $80. This is my capital, or let's say $100 even if it's $150. But in this case, I'm putting $80 if that's your trading capital. You also need, for those in Binance, you can have minimum $5, 5 USDT as your first buy amount. So you'll come here and say, I'm using 5 USDT. If you're in OKX and HTX, the minimum is $10. Okay, it's 10. So you then divide, okay, you divide the $80 divide by 5. $80 divide by 5, that will give you the total amount of calls. Okay, 80 divided by 5, it will give you 16 calls. But what I would say to you is that do not use really, you can do something like 10 margin calls or 7. Let's go with the 7, which is the default setting, 7. And also we go with the default settings for the take profit. You can increase it to whatever you want. You can increase it to you can increase it to 1.5, 2%, 3%. It's totally up to you. Up to you. What is your goal? That is totally up to you. Once you've done that, here we'll put the whole position take profit callback. That means that when the price falls by 0.3, you want your robot to sell to give you your profits. What we do is we reduce it. We put it at 0.01. Okay, that's what we do. When the buy and call back, again, is the concept is the same. When the price falls or rises, no, it is when the price rises by 0.01, again, let my robot buy. Here, let my robot sell here. If the price falls or rises by 0.01, and here let my robot buy. And the reason why being that is that obviously there was a Zoom lesson today, which is today date is 21st of February. There was a Zoom lesson this evening. You must go and look for it on Crypto Ambassadors YouTube channel. You understand trade settings a bit more. Okay, so when here, margin configuration, this is where you're going to divide your capital. Okay, we go into margin configuration. As you can see, this is the drop. This is the price drop. When the price drops by that, you want your robot to buy using the $5 first buy amount or using the $10, whatever the case. So you will I would suggest that you decrease this up to the fourth margin call. Decrease that. Instead of 3.5, you put it at 0.5. Instead of 0.5, you could put this at 2, and you can put this at 3.5, and you can leave this at 4.5. Okay, what are we saying here? We're saying that when the price drops by this percentage, you want the robot to buy. It will put your money in the market. When it drops, the price drops, your robot will buy. The first time it will go in with the first buying amount, which is $5 or $10 or 20, whichever you decide according to your capital. If you have $80, you should be using at least maybe $5 first buy amount or $10 or maximum 20, or it's up to you. Okay, but you need to be calculating this based on your capital. Okay, that is how the bot is going to put money in the market slowly. Every time it drops, this is called a call drop. When the price drops by 0.5, the robot will buy. 2%, the robot will buy. 3.5, the robot will buy. 4.5, the robot will buy. What we say is that instead of going with the default settings, which I've changed, as you could see, we will reduce it a little bit. Okay, we'll reduce it so the robot can buy a bit faster, the first 4 calls, and then after that, you leave the rest as it is, right? So we reduced it. We reduced it 0.5, and we will say, okay, we will reduce this to, I'll leave it at 1%, and we can do this at 1.5. So your money can go into the trade a little bit faster, but then after the fourth margin call, the rest of the money will go in slower if the market is dropping. Okay, so here we'll say, okay, 3.5, so that the money doesn't run out fast. Here, this means that this is the amount of money the bot is using to go into the market. So for instance, your first buy amount is $5 USDT. Okay, it is going to use $5 times this amount here. Okay, I'll repeat it. $5, which is the first buying amount, times this amount here. So in the first call, it will put $10. The second call, $20. Third call, okay, 5 times 8. What is 5 times 8? Okay, 5 times 8, it will put $40. And so on and so forth. It is going to multiply the number of multiple buy-in ratio. Multiple buy-in ratio is multiplying your first buy amount. First buy amount, if it's $5, it will multiply this by 2. 5 times 2. If it's if you've decided your first buy amount is $10, it is going to multiply 10 times 2. Okay, 10 times 4. 10 times 8. Okay, 10 times 2, 10 times 4, 10 times 8, 10 times 16, 10 times 32. That is your capital. The capital you have determines the number of times here you put in. If your capital is less, you have $80. We went with the trade settings for $80, for instance, right? So, and your first buying amount, we decided is $5, right? So we're going to say $5 is going to be used for the robot to put in the money here. Okay, using $80, your capital, your total capital. So the first buying amount is an additional call, which is silent. Okay, let's just say it's call 0. So it has already put $5. If it has put $5, how much have you left? You have left with $75. You need to divide the $75 to fit into these calls, all of these. If it doesn't fit in, that's when you need to reduce the number of times you reduce. This is not static, it can be reduced. Reduce it. Okay, how are you going to reduce it? You will say, I'm going to leave the first one at 2. Then the second one, maybe I'll reduce it to 2. And then the third one, I'll maybe put it 4. Okay, so 2. You can decide, okay, maybe the first one you put in 1, right? The second one 2. The third one you put in 4. The fifth one you would then do 8. Okay, that is how you're going to manage your capital. Manage your capital. This is managing your capital. This is the number of times your capital will go into the market. That is called multiple buying ratio. Okay, number of times the money is put in the market. So you can reduce it according to your capital. Okay, so when we're saying we have 75, 0, the first buying amount is a 0 call, but it will still take your money. So the first time it goes in $5, right? Second time, let's say this starting from here, first call, right? It's going to put in $10. So if you have $75 left and it puts in $10, that is, you're left with $65. And then $65, it will take what, $20, because that is the number 5 times 4. Okay, so 65 minus 20, you're left with $45. $45 you need to divide to make sure it fits into these calls. Okay, going down. So 45 will say, okay, maybe let it use another $4 on the third call. Okay, let it use another 4 times on the third call. So that's another $20. Okay, you're left with $25. Then you will say, maybe let it use maybe put in less here. Or you can say here you put 2. You put 2 times. Okay, you put 2 times here. You put 4 times here. You put another 4 times here, so that your money goes into the first 4 calls at least. The rest of the times, if you don't have a lot of capital, I would suggest just put 1, 1, 1. So that will be 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, or 10, 10, 10 dollars, 10 USDT. Put in 1, 1, 1, because you do not have a lot of money from call number 5. Okay, I'll spend some time here so that you can understand the concept. This is the number of times your money goes into the market. This is the price drop. Whenever the price drops, the robot buys. That is the whole concept. We buy low, we sell high. Market drops, the robot by 0.5, robot puts in your money 2 times using the first buy amount we set on the previous page. Goes in, buys, drops by 1%, it buys, drops by 1.5, it buys, by 3.5, it buys, until your money, using the number of times you've decided to put here according to your capital. You cannot have all of these settings if you only have $80, or you have only 100 or 200. All these settings together, they take about over $1,000 capital. All of these settings over 1,200. So because you have less amount, if you have little capital, $80, 100, 150, or 200, 300, 500, you must reduce the number of times here. Okay, but the most important thing is that you also must use this method, the same method they're using here, which we call double up method. This is the double up method. Okay, you must use this method so that your robot buys in multiples to reduce your average price. It buys in multiples. It's important you use the same method. If you don't use the same method, that's okay too. That's up to you. But I'm recommending, and the lots of the coaches are all recommending it uses the multiple method, because this helps you to not be in floating loss, a lot of floating loss, and when the market goes against you, and also the average price, which means the average price is closer to the current price, and you can exit the market much faster. Okay, you can exit the market much faster. So please make sure that you use this method, double up method. You double up as the price falls. You double up as the price falls. You can see every price drop, increase, we're increasing the amount of times we're buying. If the amount increases, we're increasing the amount of times we're buying. I hope that makes sense. Okay, once you've done all the settings according to your capital, you click on sure, okay, to save the settings. Okay, these I've explained. The 1.5, this is the take profit ratio. You can increase it up to 3% or whatever profit you want, but just know that the market is better to take small whilst you compound your money. Use at least 7 or 10 margin calls, right? The margin call limit, and this is going to be set. This is going to be the amount of times you're going to configure your 7 calls. You're going to configure them here, margin configuration, where you're going to divide your capital, manage your capital. Okay, it's in that section. So this we have done. I've explained. If once the robot buys 4 times the call limit, once it buys 4 times and put in your money, you can switch on AI margin call. AI margin call helps your money go into the market slowly, right? So you can switch it on from the start of your trade, or after it buys the 4 times here. Okay, so like I said, so you margin configuration, that's where I was. This making sure that we divide your money. Okay, here, your money. So because we have $80, I said you can use 1, you can use here 2, here you can use 4, you can use 4 here again, so that you're altogether you've got about 60 something. Let me see, this will be okay. No, we leave this at 2 times. Okay, this will be $10, put in $10, put in. This will be $20, put in 20 USDT. That's what I mean when I refer to dollars. Okay, this will be another 20. So that's 20, 40, 50, 60. Already that is $60 out of the 75. right? Remember, the first buy amount was $5. This here, the bot puts in $10. That is 15. Okay, 10. That is 25. That is 45. That is 65. You have left with, okay, you have left with how much? 20 out of the 80. You have left with $15. So you can decide here, you put one time, right? And call number 6 one time and call number 7 one time. Okay, that is how you divide your capital if you have $80. If you have 100, just simply calculate as according to your capital, as long as you understand this concept that we're using a double up method. You double up as the market falls, you double up, you increase the double, right? That is what it means. So you click on sure, like I said. Then over here, this section is the call number 5 to 7. Yeah, the call limit number 5 to 7. This is the, it sells it separately, and this is what you see. You leave it at default. We leave it at that. We don't change anything, and you save. We want it at sub position take profit. Okay, this is what it means. The sub position is what I've just shown you here. Okay, we also change it, maybe 0.1, we will do that, or 0.01, whichever you decide. Then here we want to leave at one shot. Okay, you can use cycle. Cycle is when it repeatedly goes back in the trade with the same trading pair that you have chosen. That's what cycle means. Okay, so we will do it. You click on the cycle and it will bring one shot. We save for one shot only. You will see that my strategy is here, and I called it $80. My strategy has been set. It will come up here. Okay, it will come up here. So that is my strategy set. And if I want to edit the strategy settings, if I want to edit, okay, I will go here on this pencil to edit. If I want to delete it, I will click on the bin. If I want to add more strategies, I will go to the plus sign at the top right and add more strategies for different capital amount.